still love the guy. Still love the guy. I saw him this past summer because he still rents out his ring. I saw him at Burger Fest in Woodbridge. It was funny. I was working security for the event just through the security company that I work with, and they were like, "They have another wrestling show here." Destiny, George's promotion, was doing their summer tour, and they were doing a lot of festivals, so they did Burger Fest. And it was like, "You want to go work security for the wrestling ring thing? Because they need security over there. You know basically everybody that is working the show. Why not just go over and do it?" I said, "Okay, fine." And I go over there. It was the first person I see, Fuego. I'm like, "Oh my god!" Like it's been like 4 years since I've seen you. Like, how are you doing? And yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah, no disrespect. We're not trying to get into a war of words between Squared Circle or between Battle Arts. It's just for you.
Mm-hmm. For me, it worked out.
Location, feasible, more classes, opportunity to grow.
Yeah.
So for me, in terms of, because I've never trained, but I love the business. And this is one of the questions I actually, when we did our interview with Alexia, this was one of the questions I asked, was in terms of training, when you walk in, and let's say you're going for the first time, you walk in, maybe you get dissected, they give you a look over, do they right at that moment, obviously they don't give you a character right away because they want to see what you can do. But once they see kind of what you do, what your knowledge base is, do they sit there and they say, okay, you know what, your style is going to be, like, what's your style? Do they ask you what your style is, or do they kind of, once they see what you're capable of doing, they sit there and say, okay, listen, we're going to work on these points because we see you as a high flyer. Or if you're in there and you're kind of a bigger guy or a bigger girl, it's okay, you know what, you're going to be a brawler. Because I can see that you're going to be more brawler. But then they look at somebody who's kind of got that IQ.
Yeah.
Much like we say basketball IQ or hockey IQ, that wrestling IQ.
Wrestling IQ, yeah.
That guy who can literally go in a ring and be like, you know what? If we're going to do this transition, this sequence here, I could give you a couple Irish whips. You could jump over me. I could do a baseball slide underneath.
Yeah.
I could come up on the ropes, flip over.
They visualize very well. And I personally, this is going to sound like a humble brag, and there's going to be people who listen to this who, train me in that. It's like, you're not that good. It's like, I don't care. My mindset is very, it is very conceptualizing, where if somebody goes, and people who have worked matches with me or tried to do spots will go, let's do this. And I go, that's not going to work. It's just not. It's not logistically possible. Because I'm very good at visualizing things in any aspect, whether it be wrestling or anything else. Just visualizing them. If somebody tells me, I want it to look like this, or I want it to go like this, I think to myself, okay, am I going to have enough time to get up after that? Does the ring positioning make any sense? And that's something that Anthony has also drilled into me, where we watch back tape of our shows. Usually the 2 Wednesdays after a show, we'll watch back tape. And it'll be like, something will happen in the match. He'll pause it and go, why would you do that? Won't say anything else. And it's the most nerve-wracking thing in the world. Even in practice, sometimes he'll stop and be like, why? And if you can't come up with a reason, you probably shouldn't do it then. So, for me, a lot of the times, someone will be like, let's do this. I'm like, that makes no sense. Like, why would you do that? Like, why would you go and...
In no sense do you mean in the story that you're trying to tell in that particular match, you get to the sequence that they're talking about, and you go, well, the story that we've already built doesn't fit.
Yeah.
This page here doesn't make sense to get to the next chapter.
It's like we've been slugging it out for 4 minutes. Why would you put on a headlock? Why are you headlocking me? We've just been punching each other. That's a de-escalation.
You want to go further.
And sometimes it's stuff like that. Sometimes it's stuff like, literally, why, another one that everybody has a problem with every now and again. It's, that's going to bury the ref, don't do that. Where it's like, because I work a lot of tag matches now. It's like, your tag partner is going to try and come in, the ref's going to stop him, and I'm going to do make the ref think I tagged. It's like, it's going to bury the ref. If the ref doesn't see the tag, he shouldn't be calling a tag. Why would you do that spot? Because we've gotten reamed for that before. Not my team specifically, but in a match I was in, we've gotten reamed for that. And now, because Anthony has... I also have a decent memory. Because Anthony has reamed me on something, it's probably not going to happen again. Because he reams me on it, and I'm going to remember it, and somebody's going to be like, let's do this. And it sucks sometimes. Because sometimes I have to tell people who have been in this business for longer than me, it's like, no. And it's like, why not? It sounds like a spoiled kid being like, because Anthony said this. At Battle Arts, sometimes that works, because they will be like, okay, no, he did say that. That does make sense. But outside of... I'm lucky that, like, I haven't had to wrestle guys outside of Battle Arts, but I've had to wrestle guys that are... Well, not that I haven't had to wrestle them. I'm lucky the situation hasn't come up. But, like, there are times, even with guys at Battle Arts, it's like, why would we do that? Anthony would hate that.
So you say right now you're working tag matches. So first off, my back to the original question.
Oh,
what
sorry.
is your style?
The original question. I actually had an interesting point on that. I wasn't told anything along the lines of what you said of like, this is going to be your style, until 2 shows ago. I wasn't told a single thing. I was told,
really?
You are going to learn and you are going to wrestle. And that was it. Learn, do what you know. There were, even character-wise, Anthony was like, just worry about, like, learning it. Worry about learning. And for me, especially because I'm a thinner guy, I was like, worry about learning it, worry about putting on weight. Don't worry about anything else. And then, naturally, I ended up being myself, and it came about that way. But
so now that you know your style and your character, what is your style? What is Sway Archer?
So, the way that my buddy described it to me, which is the way I have gone on to describe it, a slightly less dickish Leo Rush.
Yeah.
Very playful, very, like... I will make fun of you. Like, as a person, I will make fun of you, but, you know, outside of wrestling, obviously it's just like jabs. It's nothing serious. I'm not trying to get under your skin. But inside the ring, it's like someone comes out... Oh, no, perfect example. I came out... You know, I get into the ring, and buddy, like, he's, like, behind the ref, and he's going, I'm like, calm down, you look stupid. Like, it's stuff like that, where it's like, I'm very, very chill, you know.
So are you a face, or are you a heel?
Right now, face. I've only ever worked face.
And even in your tag team is a face?
Yes.
Okay.
I tag team with my buddy Chris Edwards, and it's fantastic because we became buddies outside of wrestling. When I came back to Battle Arts after finishing college, it was like, Anthony was like, oh, glad you're back. You're back now, right? Like, it's not like you're back for a month and then you're chilling. I'm like, no, I'm back. And it was like, what do you want from me? What do you want me to focus on? He's like, gaining weight. I'm like, yes, I know. Gaining weight. I need to do this. I need to eat more. I need to afford more food. But, like, what do you think I should focus on in terms of training? He's like, well, you should train Muay Thai more, which is something I'm getting into. He's always pushing for us to do judo, so I'm starting to do that now. And then he was like, well, you know, for the next show, we need more tag teams. I'm like, okay. Who would you suggest? Like, who do you think would be good for me to tag team with? And he floated a few names, and he floated Chris's name, and I'm like, well, me and Chris talk anyway. So
you have that rapport.
Yeah,
already.
I'll run the idea by him, and we clicked properly, and like we're friends, which makes it a lot easier. Because
you can, after the match, you can go back and say, okay, so listen, that sequence that you did here, you know, you screwed these moves up,
and I know
right?
he won't take it poorly,
and he'll come to you and be like, okay, cool, I accept that.
Yep.
But you also remember when you did that jump off the top.
Fix this.
You rolled the wrong way, therefore setting my... Or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, you screwed my stuff up and whatever.
Yeah.
And because we're friends, there's... Outside of wrestling, there's the ability to do way more stuff. Where it's like, I'll send my gear designs to him, because I tend to design gear a lot. Like, way more than I probably should. And I'll send my gear designs to him and be like, what do you think? I'll be like, sweet. And it actually came to a point where he was like, sweet, make me one. Like, design one for me. Like, same color pattern, same pattern, all that stuff.
Of course, if you're a team, you gotta look similar.
He's like, just do mine in long tights, because I'm gonna be doing long tights next. I'm like, fantastic, and I did it. And, like, we're in the same... It's me, Chris, my buddy Jeff, and 2 of our other friends in a group chat, and it'll just be like, we're talking about, like, memes, and then randomly I'll throw this, and it'll be like, thoughts, and it'll be like a wrestling thing. It'll be like, fantastic. And because we're friends, it's not weird to do that. Whereas, like, sometimes, you know, if I was... being made to regularly tag with someone that I wasn't friends with, or like that we just weren't compatible, like we weren't the same type of person, we weren't going to be friends outside of wrestling, it'd be weird. It'd be weird to message them, stuff like that. I would always feel uneasy about it, but Chris and I are the same age, we have the same sense of humor, like, we get along fantastically. So for me, doing tag team wrestling, I guess if you had to pick me as anything, it would be like tag team specialist and high flyer, because I've been doing a ton of high flying stuff in practice because I'm trying to, and that was actually came at the suggestion of Hornet, who now is refereeing in WWE, at NXT. Daryl Sharma, he's one of the refs they have there. He started off training us.
He's not the spray tan ref with the bad haircut, is he?
No, he's clearly South Asian. He's
okay.
He
I know
he's Fijian, but he looks South Asian. He trained us at Battle Arts when I started. He would run a beginner's class, which is now run by Buck Gunderson, where it was like, we're going to crisp up your rolls, we're going to crisp up things like how you hit the buckle, stuff like that.
Taking bumps.
Yep.
Where you hit the ropes and then you bump and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, just more advanced stuff. He would run us through drills. He was the first person to train me on that stuff, and he came back and watched that show that we had in December, and that was his thing. He was like, you are naturally nimble, you are naturally, like, he's like, I've seen you train. If you could get anywhere even near the level of someone like Ricochet, with your height, it would be phenomenal. It'd be a great selling point for you to sell to companies, to be like, this is my USP, this is my unique selling profile, this is what I'm good at, this is what sets me apart from everybody else, is that I'm 6'5", but the only people who can do flips better than me are 5'9" and 5'8".
Well, get us in a cage, and I just take you out at the kneecap. All right?
Man, don't go after my knees. I'm tall. Tall people have fragile knees.
In terms of, I guess, the next step, so now you know your kind of your ability, you know your style, you know right now currently your face. We know that's where Sway Archer's going. You obviously don't want to tag forever.
I would not be opposed to it, and that's something that I really, I'm not.
So that actually leads to my next question. Hold on, wait for it. My next question is, so if you don't, you may or may not want to tag. Now I obviously know the answer to that, spoiler alert. But would you, let's say the end goal is this. You get the training, you get out there, you start doing more shows, maybe you get hooked up with Destiny, maybe you get hooked up with CCW, you start working more indie, you get noticed by the right people, the right time, any one of those big promotions, not going to mention any names, could be New Japan, could be, Ring of Honor, whatever. And they call you in and they say, listen, we want to cut you away from tag. We want to put you here. And here may be cruiserweight division. Here may be heavyweight division. Here may be like an intercontinental type of division. What would be the end goal for you? If you couldn't tag anymore and you got a shot with one of the big companies, which division would you like to be in? Which belt would you like to go after?
Oh, I've always been a sucker for the Intercontinental title. When Cody took out the belt after he got it redone and it was white, I was like, ooh, I want it. Like, I love the look of it. I love the lineage behind it. I love everything about it. I love that at points it was called the Workhorse Championship. Like,
it really was. If you were the Intercontinental Champion, you were eventually going to get a shot at that heavyweight title.
And you were also the guy who was doing 40-minute matches on house shows, like stuff like that. And I've always loved it. I've loved a good chunk of the people who have held it. As I said, Shawn Michaels, John Morrison, and Dolph Ziggler being three of my favorites. Like, Dolph Ziggler especially has had a storied history with the Intercontinental Championship.
Not as good as the Miz. Sorry, not as good as the Miz.
I know, the Miz.
I'm a Miz guy. Anyone who listens to the show knows I was a Miz guy. I was the opposite of Angry Miz Girl. I was probably the only guy in the world
who popped when he won.
I was so excited. I was at Steve's house and he won, and I literally I did the whole suck it. I DX'd him.
I was just shocked. I was shocked because I thought he was going to be the first person to blow it. The first person to blow a Money in the Bank cash in. I thought he was going to be the first. Because just the way that they built him prior, it was like...
Yeah, but if you go back and you watch early Miz, you watch the promos, you even watch when he was the host of the Divas Search.
Yeah.
You see that the mic ability...
The star quality.
I always agree. There. And
always
then you know what?
Real world, it was there. Bro.
But also, look who he teamed with. He teamed with one of your favorites.
John Morrison, yeah.
For 3-time tag team champions, right?
Baffles me to this day. No disrespect to the Miz, baffles me to this day that John Morrison was not the star out of that group. You just look at the two of them. Physically, just look at the two of them. John Morrison built like a statue. The Miz, at that point especially, not so much. John Morrison.
I'm an every man type of guy. Yeah. So for me, the dude with 6-pack of chiseled abs, looking like he could literally walk in and steal my